Yo, what's going on, people? I want to share some trades that I made today, and I want to share some mistakes that I made today. I made a big mistake today, but thankfully I recovered. So check this out. This is USD JPY. This is live right now. Excuse me. This is live right now, but I was gonna share you what I did today, how I messed up, um, how I recovered, and some little tips that you guys can use. Once again, man, all I trade is DTFX concepts. So if you want a deeper dive into an explanation, then check out Dave Cheesy's channel. Check out his mentorship. He'll change the way how you trade. He'll definitely help your win rate. All right, so yo, check this, right? So today, man, I'm gonna show you where I made my big mistake, and I'm gonna show you how I redeemed myself. All right, so um, when I came on the chart, today was like, you see, today's the 17th. I came on the chart. This high was already taken, right? So I was like, all right. And then when I zoomed out some more, I noticed that this zone here, this high that I put in this low, was being mitigated multiple times, right? I was like, all right, cool. It's being mitigated multiple times. So eventually, we're going to run this high right here. So I'm like, all right, bet. No, we ran this high. So off the muscle, I recognize this is a zone, right? I even put the fib, everything 50% right here. This is where I messed up, right? So we coming down, right? We coming down. One swing, two swings, three swings, and four swings, right? This is even where I show where I made my mistake right here. I even still have the zone that I put where I made a mistake. Two reasons why I messed up. So I had four swing counts right here. So I was like, all right, I got four swings, boom. But here's where I messed up. I'm still at the top of the range. Well, not at the top, but I'm nowhere near the bottom of the range. I'm not even at the 50% mark, right? That's big mistake, number one. Number two is that this zone that I used didn't do anything. Sorry, this zone didn't do anything. This zone right here, let me change the color. This zone, let me call it, let me clear it up. Let me call it that we can recognize. All right, this zone didn't do anything. First of all, this zone here, you trade down, trade up, hit that. This zone already got mitigated. So that's one, right? I had taken the trade here. I even took the trade at the 50% like a dummy, right? I took the trade here at the 50%. And the worst part is I was in profit up to here. I wanted to see this high get taken, and I lost. I just lost. My stop loss was behind here. I was like, man, just count your losses and move on, right? So yeah, this zone was already mitigated. You trade up, trade down, trade up. This 50% was already topped. Not only that, this zone didn't really do nothing. This zone here, trade down, trade up. This zone, I wasn't looking properly, and I thought that the zone was responsible for breaking this high here, right? So I say, yeah, trade down, trade up. Didn't run the high. As a matter of fact, even if it did, this one did. And you see how this one, you got decent reaction. This high isn't even really a high to speak. This is like a week on a higher time frame. This is like a week, right? So that is basically what I did wrong. I picked the wrong zone. I picked a zone that didn't do nothing. See, didn't break nothing. And then I also picked the zone that was already mitigated, right? Next thing it was on the top of the range. Sometimes, man, we just make these mistakes, and I didn't realize it. I think I was in a rush. I was in too much of a rush to make money. So I waited, and I realized that this high here, right, this zone here, right, was the reason for breaking this high. Plus, this zone wasn't mitigated. You see, this zone was not mitigated. So it traded down, traded up, and just kept going up, right? Came back to the zone, right? By that time, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Still had 4 swings. Still had 4 swings, right? Still had 4 swings, which is the beginning of my basically time to look for a reversal. Not a big reversal, just a reversal, right? Still had 4 swings, right? So I said, all right, cool. Then what I saw was ran this inside high here, traded back down, and I took this little. I took this trade up, right? But then, according to the concepts, this is toilet paper, people. So I waited. I took the trade. I exit the trade, then went down, run this trade, and I realized it was ranging right here. So I said, man, shoot, let me jump back in again. And I jumped back in again because it failed to put in a low. I jumped back in again, and I ain't like holding trades for long. I came out at the high that put in the low. So this is where I exit, right? So that's how I redeem myself, right? Now, later on, I came back to the chart and I had marked out this area because this is like the safe area, the 50% of the range. And this low, this zone is actually the zone that broke this high here. This is the last high to put in a low. So this high is the protected high, right? This high is the big dog high, right? This high here, as a matter of, it did it, ran a low, but then it got replaced by this high here that ran this low, and then this high came in and ran. So this is the big dog high. So this zone here ran the high at the 50%. This is where I should have taken a longer move up, right? Now, some of y'all see this zone and probably thinking why this zone didn't get mitigated. Well, in the concepts, there's a concept called the first imbalance puts in a new high, right? So you look on this chart. For those of you who don't know what imbalance is like when you have a candle that's going up or down, like it's just one fat candle and there's nothing behind it. Like you have a little zone here and like it comes down, but there's nothing beside it. Normally price comes in and fills it, and sometimes it'll put in a new low. Likewise, it's the same reason with a high. You have this zone here, come up and it just shoot up, right? And then price usually comes down to fill the imbalance here, and then it comes up. Now this, let me get rid of some of this. This right here is a candle on a higher time frame. This is just a candle. So let me show you. Pay attention to, as a matter of fact, let me change this color to a different color so we can better pay attention. This, let me see what's looking like on the 1 hour. On the 1 hour time frame, you see how this is like one just long candle coming up here. You see how this is like one long candle. Let's look at the 4 hour, 3 hour. So you see the 3 hour, according to the 3 hour, is one long candle. So usually if you see this, if you're waiting for it to come down here, chances are it will not come down here right away. It'll probably trade up. Maybe you probably put in a new high and then come down to here. Maybe, I don't know. But I know it puts in a new high from back testing. So this is the trade that I did in Asian session. So you trade down, right? You trade down, come down here. Right here is the imbalance. And you're like, man, it form a double bottom and trade up. No, there is the concept of the new imbalance putting in a new, of the first imbalance putting in a new high. Wait, let me see if we get this. This is the first imbalance or the second one. Hold on. Yeah, because this is not an imbalance. This is the imbalance here. And it's closer to the zone here. So there's a saying, the first imbalance puts in a new high. So in the Asian session, just a while ago, well, not a while ago, but a couple, this is what? This is like half hour ago or so. I took this trade here and took the 1-to-1 here, right? Because the concept, the first imbalance puts in a new high, right? Cool. Then I saw it tap this imbalance here. This imbalance got filled, right? And then with the whole fact that all this zone getting mitigated multiple times, I say, you know what, man? Let me see if I can take a little trade in here. So, I saw this happening, and I'm like, man, we already run this high, we run this high, and we run this high that caused a low. Man, I put in a trade, boom, got the 1-to-1, and ran my ass out of there. So that is kind of just a recap of what happened to me today, right? Most days I'm back testing. I probably take, as I said, I'll take maximum 3 trades a day. For the most part, I'm back testing. But this is like a good example of why you must follow your rules, right? Why you must trail your highs and lows, mark out your zones, use the bottom of the range, and use the zones that are the ones that are responsible for something being broken, like a high being broken, right? And learn to spot imbalances. Not saying that you should always trade imbalances, but you can use imbalances for direction. Like if it's a higher time frame imbalance, price, good chance that price is going to fill that imbalance. You can use that concept as a means of direction, especially if you see some narrative like this zone getting mitigated multiple times and stuff like that. So anyway, that's what I want to share with you guys. Keep practicing, keep back testing, and I'll see y'all later. All right, peace.